So when it comes to singing high notes, there are definitely aspects that are very physical about the process, but there is a big psychological and emotional aspect to it, and that is what we're going to talk about today, fixing those issues that might be on a deeper level.
Run, run, lost boy, they say to me.
Here's a quick exercise that you could do to see if maybe some of your issues regarding high notes happen on a little bit of a deeper level. I want you to imagine you're about to sing the high note of a song that you really are struggling with. And I want you to imagine you're about to go for it. What is your response when you stop yourself moments before? So if you're about to go and you're about to sing that note and you go, that is often the response for a lot of people. And you could just record yourself actually singing the high note and then just cut at the point right before you start making the sound. If your body is making any sort of those types of movements, then you have a really good sign that there's something deeper psychological going on. Why? Because we haven't even started making the sound and the body's already responding in a negative way. So it's already responding with tension before we've even created the sound or started the process of making the sound. We're setting up to make that sound. And that is a fear response. And when we've got that fear response, then no matter how much physical work you do to technically get the high note to work right, you're not going to be able to fully relax into those notes because you're constantly bombarded by that initial fear response. I actually remember back in 2013 when I was part of a singing competition, I was singing and I remember I videoed the entire thing, or my mother videoed the entire thing for me. And I was watching it back and I was noticing how I held my body, how I held myself on stage. And of course, people were very nice about it. They said, oh, you did a great job and you looked like a natural up there. But I, for myself, knew when I feel relaxed and what my body language is like to when I feel anxious. And you could definitely tell that there was a nervous energy about me while I was performing. And there was one point in particular, because I remember there was about 1,000 people in the audience, which was the biggest audience I'd ever sung for in my life. And it was still on my journey. I didn't feel fully comfortable with my voice yet. And so I remember feeling unconfident about the process. And I went for this one note that probably I had no business going for. And the setup, I could see myself in that moment going like that to prep for the high note. And in hindsight, now I look at it and I'm like, of course you were going to miss it. And my voice cracked on the high note. Thankfully, I kind of pulled away from the mic, and that could be a little, if you're worried you're gonna mess up, you can kind of like pull away. So it's like, yeah, I had that. But nobody really heard it because you pulled away from the mic. You don't hear it so clearly, although the discerning listener will definitely hear that my voice broke. But it was mostly the setup for that high note that actually threw the whole thing off. So we got to realize that it's more than just a physical process that's happening. It's also a big mental and emotional process that's happening. And we got to start to build confidence into that sound. So if you can break that habit of having that response right before you have a high note, then you're going to have a much better. What should the prep for a high note look like? Well, the chest should stay totally relaxed and just the abdomen should do all the drawing of the breath. And really you want to draw the breath as low as possible, all the way down to the pelvic floor, thinking of expanding all the way down. And so then I get and I'm full with air. If I let go of all the right muscles, that was half a second and I'm ready to go for the next phrase. So for people that are like, oh, I can't get enough air between phrases because the phrases are so close together, if you do it properly, this is the fastest way faster than a sort of response, because that requires a lot more time to draw the air in because it's dragging against the vocal cords. And if we want to break this down even further, we got to look at what makes confidence altogether. Why is one person confident and then the other person unconfident? Well, I really see it as two aspects to this. Number one, you've got to feel like you're technically proficient. You got to feel like I've done this before and I can do it again. The moment you start to feel that, your confidence is going to rise. And so that's why I always recommend for people to get proper training so that when they have that proper training, they'll experience what it's like to hit that high note, and then they'll be able to replicate that, and their confidence will build off of that. That's precisely why I've created a singing community with learning gamified. So I've gamified the learning process so that people collect points as they work through the exercises that I provide in the courses there. And they're given rewards at the end in the form of Amazon gift cards, private one-on-one lessons with me, microphones, headphones, all the different type of musical equipment. All of that is set out to make the whole process of learning to sing as fun and as easy as possible. And I think that that's what we're doing in there really, really well. So if you're interested in that, please check out the link down below. But beyond technical proficiency, we also need to have another aspect, which is where we have a belief in ourselves. We believe we can achieve it. And for so many people that I work with, their belief is on the floor. They think I have to have natural talent. I don't have natural talent, therefore I'm never going to be able to sing. Well, that's only partially true. Talent will get you to a certain level, but it only gets you so far. The rest, you have to develop your skills. And so if you have that belief, immediately you're going to be held back. And so you got to sit down literally with a pen and paper and sit and write for yourself, what are the things that are holding you back? So title this list, Mindset Blocks to High Notes. And we're going to go through item by item, and we're going to analyze our thought process and think about the way that you think about high notes. And we're going to label them. 1, I don't believe that I had natural talent. 2, I believe that high notes are for certain high voice types. Many people have these, and a lot of them are subconscious beliefs. What we're going to try to do is bring them out to the forefront. And if by analyzing them and really looking at them, we're going to notice, does this belief serve me or does it not? And if it's not serving you, then we got to try to find some alternative to that belief system. Because I've trained thousands of singers at this point, and I can tell you there is a very, very small fraction, like 0.05% of people that physically cannot sing better. Those are the people that are medically held back from improving their singing. And those instances, yes. But if you're part of the 99.5% of the rest of the population, which most likely you are if you're watching this video, then that's great news. You have to find beliefs that are going to serve you. And so what I want you on the other side is write on that list new beliefs that will serve me. And I want you to write down those new beliefs. So instead of, I don't have natural talent, so I won't be able to sing the high notes, maybe we could turn that into, I haven't yet developed the skills to be able to sing the high notes. That's a totally different belief that is based on the same evidence, but is a total reframing of it to make it much more beneficial and to serve you well. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please click on this video right here. You're gonna like it too.